All right. All right. Now we're back. Okay. So that was a technical difficulty. We get these technical difficulties during live stream sometimes, guys. So thank you so much for being with me. Let's make the camera a little bigger here, actually. All right. So we have our first story. House Democrats walk out to block the GOP. How well has the tactic worked before? Now, before we get into anything about why they walked out, this is a tactic that the not the GOP, the Democrats have used and Democrats have used before. And I felt like, they were going to use this tactic around the time when Donald Trump first won, to say that they are the resistance. The resistance. But unfortunately, we don't see this happening in DC. As a communist, I don't see it happening at all. I don't consider the Democrats as being the resistance, because they do a lot of bipartisan bills passed 24/7 with the GOP, and they're still passing bills in the Senate with the GOP. You know what I mean? So in the House and also as well too. We could go down the rabbit hole of what bills are being passed, stuff like that, and people could say, okay, well, they're minority. We could be like the brother Hakeem Jeffries. What can we do? What can we do? You know what I mean? If you're saying, which I wholeheartedly believe, if you're saying and telling us that Donald Trump is a fascist, and throughout this whole, God, bro, it hasn't even been a year yet. It hasn't even been a year yet, bro. We're like 8 months in to his presidency, and like it's just he just turned the whole shebang topsy turvy, bro. Like the whole shebang. Like we are literally living in a coup government, and even though I wasn't pro the Democratic government, from the Democratic Party when Joe Biden was in office, even though I wasn't pro that government, which people that watch the show clearly know I have a lot of stances against Joe Biden's war endeavors and all this shit like that. That Gaza happened. That wasn't even a war. That was a genocide. A genocide literally was funded and pushed under the guise by the Democratic Party that, oh, we're going to get a ceasefire. And just like how Donald Trump right now, which we're going to get into, talking about, oh, he stopped 5 wars, which is so not true. Just because there was a pause in Cambodia with China also involved. We don't want to mention that part, but Cambodia and Thailand has literally have been having land disputes for a long time, and they're probably going to get back started with their land dispute battles next year or the next 2 years. That doesn't mean you stopped anything. It doesn't mean that. But this Ukraine thing's still going on. Like I get it. I understand that Trump is crazy, but the Democrats and the way that they were just tone deaf, polls show Gaza was the number one reason why Kamala Harris lost. Polls show that. And if you remember me talking on TikTok or anything about what's going on in Dearborn, Michigan, standing in solidarity with our Muslim brothers and sisters who wanted to bring more awareness to Palestine, did the Democrats listen to them? No. There was videos of the Democrats during the Kamala Harris rallies kicking them out. So we already see a type of government that was pro corporate America. Now we're seeing a type of government that takes the pro corporate American stance and hyper speed in a way that Donald Trump is just blatantly not caring about what anyone thinks. ICE also happened under the Biden and also Obama, which they both Obama holds records for the most deported. That's Trump's wet dream, bro. Trump's wet dream is to deport as many people as Obama did. That's literally his wet dream, bro. So here we are. I don't want to go down to the rabbit hole so much. I just want to give context of why I wasn't pro the DNC government as well too. But here we are. We have the DNC in Texas not liking the way shit is going. So they decide to walk out. And there's been other cases of this before. And I'm glad that they walked out. And, they should stay out because a lot of the reactionary nonsense that the GOP in Texas is doing, we could go. I have a lot to cover today, so I don't want to get all the way into it. But this is what the Democrats should be doing all over the board, all in the federal government, everything. If they truly believe that this government, current government, Donald Trump's administration government, is fascist. I had to take a sip of my coffee. We're drinking breakfast blend today. I want to try this bougie coffee, but the pods don't fit. My girlfriend was correct. The pods don't fit. So we're just going to drink some breakfast blend. I'm back on the caffeine, guys. I'm usually a tea guy. Tea is my first love. I'm back on the caffeine. Yeah, that's good. So here we are with the Democrats leaving, and they went to Illinois. Now, I made a statement. I want to read off what I said so people know exactly how I feel about this situation. I got my phone out. So I made a post on Facebook and all the other platforms. I agree with those Texas Dems who walked out, by the way. This is exactly what I've been saying Democrats should do in the Senate and the House. And I'm talking about the federal government in DC. When I say Senate and the House, if they truly believe Trump is a fascist, they should follow the example of the Communist Party and the progressive lawmakers under Hitler's regime that refused to legitimize that racist administration. The communists and progressives were the first one Hitler targeted, the first to be sent to the camps, and precisely because they resisted. I want to give a shout out to the Polish-born Rosa Luxemburg, who was a communist, co-founder of the Spartacus League, which later on became the Communist Party of Germany. And if anybody knows that name, she was murdered brutally for opposing Hitler's government. That is what real resistance looks like. That's what real resistance looks like. Putting your body on the line, sacrificing your body for this country. And that, in her case, it was for Germany, a Polish-born politician that knew Germany was going down the road of fascism. And instead of staying in parliament, staying there to help vote all this fascist shit in, what did they do? They left. They resisted. Democrats, you have no excuse. No excuse. What you do in Texas, you can do, but we know you're not because you're pro-capitalist. That's the quiet part out loud. Liberals are very pro-capitalist as well, too, so they're not going to tell you to leave. My socialist ass is going to tell you should have left. You should not be participating in this. Why? It doesn't matter if they got majority. They still need you to vote. They are able to get it through because the vice president comes in when it's a tie. You still got a chance, but you choose not to. You choose not to. You choose to continue to go on and be complicit while all this shit is happening. It's not about the executive orders. Okay, we get it. You can't control what goes on with the executive orders. You can't. I agree with that. But you can fight like hell. You can fight like hell. And are you fighting like hell? Are you fighting like hell? That's the question that the Democrats need to be asked. We don't need an excuse like Hakeem Jeffrey. This is why, we got Elon Musk, the asshole. And we're going to talk about what Elon did with DOGE and how he's replaced by this asshole named Vaught. We're going to talk about him as well, too. But Elon started an American First Party. There are parties for the working class, true working class, socialist, communist parties, progressive parties, will put them in there as well too, that can't get a seat because the Democrats always sue them and pursue them to not even get a chance, even in the most littlest offices. Don't get me wrong. There are third party members like Shama Sawant who has made it. She made it as an independent in Seattle. We had her campaign manager on. Shouts out to M. Smith. Very awesome girl. She came on the show and she broke it down. People should go watch that episode. It's on one of our live episodes on YouTube. It was the last episode that our friend Alex Suarez, who was a former co-host of mine, he was on the Unsavory Politique show. And we spoke and sat down with Shama Sawant, the campaign manager. Hopefully we get her on the show in the near future while she's on her campaign, maybe in the fall. And she won. So here's an example, guys, of somebody that was an independent, a socialist. For the first time in 100 years, she won a campaign and got a seat in the city council for Seattle. And what was one of the biggest wins after Shama Sawant left? Seattle has 20 an hour minimum wage. And they're looking to go higher because economists are saying that in this economy, and this is from economists, because I read what economists say. I don't go off of what some podcasters say. When I need a source, if I need to learn about wages, I need to learn about what the economy is looking at right now and what are the threats with this economy. I'm going to go look at economists and see what the economist says. And one of my favorite economists, God, I can't even think of my boy right now. He's going to come to mind. Richard Wolff. There we go. Richard Wolff is one of my favorite economists. Okay. And everything he says is just factual. The man knows what he's talking about. So she was able to get 20 an hour. There is a thriving hunger amongst working people in this country that are majority independent thinking on their voting and everything now. The more that there are with the cults of the GOP and the DNC. There is. I think the last poll I read was 30, not 30. What the hell? That's low. 51% of people in this country do not register as a Democrat or Republican. They register as an independent. So we're poised. It's probably higher than that now, by the way, because I read that poll. Was it last year? I believe it was last year because I reported it on TikTok. I read that poll on TikTok. I reported it on TikTok. So I think it's important that we understand that and remind people that they are in control and have the power, and they use their power. And I'm talking about both parties. The Democrats always suing the communists, always suing the progressives when they try to run, always suing anybody independent that's on the left. The Republicans do the same thing. They always suing the libertarians. I'm sorry, libertarians. I'm sorry that y'all got to go through that. I'm not a libertarian, but I'm sorry y'all got to go through that. On both sides. On both sides. So that's not opposition. When you're trying to stay in control and you have the power and you want to keep a two-party system, everyone is going to start thinking that is paying attention to this. Are you guys actually one party? Ooh. But that's for another show. Don't underestimate your enemy live stream. This is the first Don't Underestimate Your Enemy live stream for Jabari Vok Media Podcast. My name is Jamar Jabari. If you're just coming on here, thank you so much for the like. And guys, I'm also taking questions. So if y'all have any questions, please, for the love of God, let me know because I will definitely take your questions. Let's move on. We're gonna focus a lot on domestic right now. I got one foreign policy update to talk about, but that's going to be towards the end of the show. All right. So, speaking of working labor, guess what happened 4 days ago? Now, it's just crazy how all this news is breaking, and I was trying to, like, because I'm always looking at the news, I'm always looking at research 24/7. I was trying to just take a few days off. You know what I mean? I got an interview tomorrow with the good brother Fad Saeed, who is a strong supporter of Palestine and has been in the field for a long time. That he's a good brother. Shouts out to Fad. He's from Yemen. His family's from Yemen. I gotta ask him, is he originally from Yemen as well too? But yeah, he's a great freaking guy. We're gonna have him on the show. So excited. So while I was, setting that up, I look around and see what's going on and stuff, and then I came across this article. And no, I don't support NPR like that, but dude, the chief of BLS, this is in statistics, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, was fired. She was fired. And why was she fired? Why was she fired, guys? She was fired because she was telling the truth about how the unemployment rate is lousier than it was before Trump was in office. Wow. Just like what happened to Rebecca Jones for talking about, COVID deaths in Florida. This person gets fired for telling the truth about how the economic situation is so bad that unemployment is lower historically than it ever has been. So yeah, this is an article on NPR. I have the link in the description if you would like to check it out. Am I shocked by this? No, because this is the type of government that Donald Trump wants to establish, where he can get rid of you if you do anything that he doesn't like. It's all about him, and it ain't about you, baby. It ain't about you. It's never about you. It was all about his ego. You cannot make him look bad. You can't make him look bad. You make him look bad, you in trouble. You end up like Stephen Colbert. You're going to be out of a job. You're going to be out of a job. I mean, or you're going to end up like me. You're going to be on a little platform. You had the opportunity to work with the Democrats. And since for me, it was the liberals that came after me. I was working for the Democrats real hard. You know what I mean? Before I became a socialist. It's what the Democratic Party supporters did to me. That made me very, very racial. I was pissed off about Bernie Sanders on that shit. And then, I was organizing all these people, and I'm telling them how pissed I am about freaking Bernie Sanders getting screwed over like that. This was like back in 2016. And then motherfuckers was telling me, okay, but we got to keep moving because we're going to get like Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton. And it was Hillary Clinton actually at the time. And I was like, man, fuck Hillary Clinton. What are you talking about? And then I met the PSL, and so on and so forth. Here I am, socialist. Shout out to PSL, by the way. But yeah, they do that. You know what I mean? They will ostracize you. But Trump does it on a level where it's like, bro, like you're firing people for telling the truth, just like your boy Ron DeSantis did to Jessica Jones. Seriously? Rebecca Jones. I said Jessica Jones. Just like you did to Rebecca Jones. Go see that case. I was just saying they sent the SWAT to her house, bro. They invaded her house. We had her on the show a few times. Shout out to Rebecca Jones. So yeah, man. I mean, like, dude, you can't even tell the truth about the unemployment because this is the guys they want to give. I want to play something real quick. Let me see if I could get it out. You know what I mean? Let's do this. Okay, you guys gonna look at my beautiful face right now. Shouts out to Bikini Faso, by the way. We got some people that just came in, so I want to highlight real quick Bikini Faso. Bikini Faso, if you don't know, was a country that was under a dictatorship, U.S. backed, French funded, the works. French backed, French occupied, American occupied. They made a lie to the entire Sahel region that if you guys work with us, we'll get rid of terrorism. Terrorism started ramping up all of a sudden. Beautiful story. By the way, I'm joking. And a good brother by the name of Ibrahim Atroye. This is the map of Bikini Faso behind me. Who was a part of a coup. And we didn't know what the coup was going to look like. And a lot of us on the left, we are anti-coup, but we understand that when it comes to a government and an establishment like what Bikini Faso was going through, you can't liberate people through elections. You got to. Do I need to tell you what you got to do? You got to do it. So they put them out. They put them out, bro. And Bikini Faso has been thriving under Ibrahim Atroye's leadership. Bikini Faso is literally inspiring millions of Africans across the continent. The Sahel region itself, the coalition of the Sahel region itself, is liberated. And military coups, majority of the time, you're like, oh shit, what's going to happen? Like what happened with Syria. But this was a coup that actually was for the people. And let me just say, this dude has built more roads than France did, which is insane. All right, so back to the topic that we were talking about. Shouts out to Bikini Faso. We must never forget about how great this country, Bikini Faso, is. It's been 2 years since they haven't had a dictatorship, and they have built more roads. They have free healthcare, free schooling. The housing is getting a lot more improvement. A lot of great things. All right. I want to get into we were talking about the BLS staffer that was kicked out. So I think also, because I'm about to get it ready for another segment right here too. I think also because I went to play a video, but the video is not showing, and I don't want to, waste time on my videos. I hate that. Who else is next that's going to end up telling the truth? Because I watch shows like Piers Morgan. I watch a lot of shows so I can see what these people are talking about, and a lot of the media, they're putting all these right wingers on. I saw one with Carrie Lake, and she was arguing with Cenk Uygur about how the Americans are getting their jobs back. No, they're not. And you got to fire people just to say that's not true. You got to fire people to say that people are getting their jobs back, because people that are telling you that people are not getting their jobs back, they're fucking up the message. So they got to get fired. They got to get removed. So Carrie Lake can go on TV and lie to you on the behalf of Donald Trump. The economy is not getting better for the workers at all. The food, all this shit, still high price. I'm broke. I'm broke majority of the time because I spend money on what I need to survive. I don't have spend you money. I don't spend you money. I don't have fuck you money. I don't have that thing that rich people get. No, I'm broke. Me and my girl, we broke. All this damn money on food, bro. Everything. Donald Trump made a statement about how he won because of groceries. Did you, bro? Because the groceries are the same price that you said that they weren't going to be, during Joe Biden's time. So I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I think that they're trying to push all this in just so no one talks about the Epstein list. They want to go after Obama and everything. I mean, yeah, Obama did help fabricate the Russiagate and everything, but you also helped fabricate a lot of lies too about the Democrats. So the Democrats could, lie about you and you get mad, but you lying about them, You want to get mad? I don't know, man. It's all smoke and mirrors, dude. The Epstein List. I'm telling you, the Epstein List. They're trying to distract motherfuckers, but it's all good. It's all good. Let's get back to labor. Breakthrough News. Breakthrough News. Everybody should go follow Breakthrough News on YouTube. Go and follow them. These guys get a lot of shit correct. A lot. And great people, great reporters. So this is what they came up with after DOGE. And you can find this publication on Breakthrough News Instagram. This is where I got it from. So definitely check it out. Number one, 275,000 public workers have been fired or pushed to resign. We're doing a recap of what DOGE has done so far. Isn't that crazy? And what are the effects? By the way, this was illegal. What happened? This is illegal. Number two. Let's go down to number two. Great reporting by Breakthrough News. DOGE's $2 trillion savings were an illusion. Let me get my phone out so I can read the highlighted part, because I'm not even going to try to read it on screen right here. My eyes don't work that way. The cost of DOGE operation, layoffs and termination, cancellations of grants, contracts, and projects, lost revenue, and additional taxpayer costs puts DOGE at nearly $21.7 billion in a hole, according to the Senate's Permanent Subcommittee of Investigations. Isn't that crazy, bro? But you know, Donald Trump's going around here. I'm showing this for a reason, because Donald Trump's going around here trying to say that all this winning. I could just sing the Beyonce song right now. All this winning, like he's like, we're winning. We are winning. Does it look like we're winning? So this is the loser. I mean, he's rich as hell, so you know people be like, you can call rich people losers. Rich people can still be freaking losers. This is the far right asshole, Russell Vaught, who is the new head of DOGE. He is, if you don't know his face, guys, hello guys. Wait, put me up, put me big on screen. Guys, this is the fucking architect of the far right Project 2025. There he is. Remember when Donald Trump said that he doesn't support Project 2025? Why is the architect of Project 2025 the head of DOGE? Huh? You don't support Project 2025, but you all of a sudden it was able to, you know, this guy is unelected, by the way, just like how Elon Musk was unelected. All this power, right? They get all this power just being rich. Rich people, man, are ridiculous. And then they'll get mad if you question this. They'll get mad. They'll be like, oh, how dare you? I don't even mean to use the Greta Thunberg scenario, but seriously, like that's the asshole that started Project 2025 and he's the head of DOGE. How fitting. People will be like, well, why didn't Elon Musk leave? You know, before they started beefing. Elon already got his pay cut, bro. He got so much money from the government. We're going to get into that too. Number 4. This is crazy. And this is something that a lot of people need to pay attention to while we deal with these natural disasters and everything. Over 90% of the staff at an agency protecting workers' safety were fired, bro. We're just recapping how horrifying DOGE has been for this country in the past 8 months. So, okay, not only are we screwed with paying for everything, higher the tariffs, all this shit, because that's going to come out of our pockets. But we don't even have a government that can take care of our essential needs when it comes to weather during an era of climate change. The National Institution for Occupational Safety and Health Office, safeguarding minors and others, were partly reversed from a federal lawsuit. Trump's support for the coal industry has been exposed as support for the owners, not the workers. So we got massive cuts in the National Institution of Occupational Safety. Wow. And you know what? But to remind you, while we go through this, all this money that's getting cut, just to let y'all know, it goes to the rich. This money all going to the rich, baby. All of it. Aren't you excited? Rich people get to be richer while we suffer. Isn't that awesome? That's just, oh my God. I'm just like Oprah. I am just so happy for you. Like Elon, like I'm so happy for you. Like Jeff Bezos. Oh God. I'm so happy for you. You guys get to get so much more money while the country goes to shit. Oh my God. I'm so happy for y'all. I'm really like you guys are literally goals. I wish I could be a billionaire. Not really. All right. Next up, number 5, 600 layoffs in the National Weather Service. See, I told you we're going to talk about it. Have damaged forecasting while storms pound the country. Those direct cuts are severely weakening the National Weather Service ability to monitor dangerous weather. 8 of the 122 National Weather Service offices are now unable to operate around the clock, and 17% fewer weather balloons were launched this year because of the staff shortage. A spike in flash floods and deadly storms in Texas, which killed at least 138 people, have underscored how essential the weather warning system is. But I'm so happy for you, Elon Musk. I'm so happy for you. You got so much money. You got so much money for being a part of DOGE, and then you left after you got what you wanted. And now this motherfucker Vaughn, who is the architect of Project 2025, another billionaire, by the way, is just getting so much money now too. And not only he's getting money, all his rich ass friends are getting money too. Wow, we pay $9 for eggs and continue to watch the most covered in media wise genocide ever. While we get to see our friends who have friends that are immigrants, I'm not talking about the other ones, get put on threat to leave the country or get kidnapped and are deported out the country when they're just providing for their families. Police brutality spiking up again because the courts are now just letting motherfuckers do what they want and they can stay away from accountability because Donald Trump wants to make sure the police are safe. We could send the National Guard on our own people, the Marines on our own people, just to quell justified unrest. I'm so happy for you. Do you feel safe, rich people? Do you feel safe that you can finally get these budget cuts? Oh my God. You getting money, baby. You getting some money. I can't wait to see how much these motherfuckers get by the end of the year. This is insane. All because of the, and then I want to talk about a little bit. I'm gonna get into that. But we got a few more slides. Like I said, breakthrough news. Like people, please. If you want a publication that is honest and is on the ground 24/7, talking to working class people like you and I, breakthrough news. Now this is this kind of touch home on like what I used to do for a living when I was working for Democrats and I was a contractor and stuff like that. I was working for a roofing company, and the reason why the roofing company was so successful, this is a true story. The reason why the roofing company left Connecticut, so I couldn't participate no more as being a part of that company anymore, because they went to Florida and they want to stay in Florida. And the reason why they want to stay in Florida is hurricanes, you know what I mean? And FEMA does not do a lot. They'll help out, but they don't help out. If you know what I'm saying. And that's why roofing companies are able to go in. You know, what we did was we used the date of a storm that had the most impactful weather. I'm gonna tell you the trick. And you know, we'll go look at your roof. Hey, look, you're missing a few shingles, and they will date it back to a storm that had a high risk of those shingles leaving. Insurance company come in, they look at it, they go, oh, if you don't have a crazy ass deductible, you get a new roof for free. That was my job. Helped a lot of families get new roofs. I was happy about that. You know, that was before I got really, really radical and started doing some wild, crazy shit to stop this country with its capitalist bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm joking about the wild crazy shit. I was just doing organizing, being a grassroots organizer. I'm just so FEMA with hurricane season here, FEMA is under threat too. So FEMA already don't do shit, and they losing more money. So that means ain't nobody gonna get nothing done. Ain't nobody gonna get no fucking help as efficient as I don't even want to say as efficient, because it wasn't even as efficient, bro. But it is what it is. The agency has sorry, I got to itch on my nose. The agency has proposed cutting nearly $1 billion in the grant funding. The agency that we're talking about is sorry, coffee's making me do a little burp. The agency you're talking about is DOGE. The agency has proposed cutting nearly $1 billion in grant funding. That's crazy, including the total termination of the Urban Area Security Initiative (UASI), which provides more than $500 million to prepare major cities for catastrophic emergencies. Isn't that beautiful? So I live in New Haven. So we can't ask for shit if something happens here. We live off the coast. we got a chance of getting hit with something real nice, but don't expect your federal government to do anything about it once that happens. You know what I mean? Also, speaking of that, there was also a publication that came out that was talking about how Donald Trump is backpedaling on his stance, saying that if you are anti-Semitic, you will not receive government funding and aid and help and all this stuff like that, especially businesses and all stuff like that. That's a policy that was already being used for years, guys. I understand that we're trying to stay aware of what Donald Trump is doing, but he's using laws and using policies that are already in place as well too, as much as he's signing so many crazy ass executive orders. The anti-Semitic policy under federal was already being used like that, and you'll learn that if you were in like the nonprofit sector, you'll learn that if you're looking for funding and stuff like that for whatever type of like organization that you have and everything, you'll learn that. So so for people that don't know, that's nothing new. That's not brand new at all. That's actually how they operate. Is it unconstitutional on the demonstration side? I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really tell you, because you got to remember these type of laws and stuff can be interpreted in so many different ways. Trump's argument is the anti-Semitic part, which we already know he's gaslighting the whole definition. It's not even what the Zionists are saying that it is. They're using it to protect Zionism. That's the whole sole purpose of it. And also there has been cases of Zionists who identify, because you can be Zionist as a Christian, you can be Zionist as a Muslim, you can be a Zionist as an atheist, you can be a Zionist as any form of belief that you want to believe. It's not just Jewish people. And by the way, majority of Jewish people are not even Zionists. You can look at polls as well too. Majority of Jewish people don't even support Zionism or support Israel. Last time I checked in the polls, it was like 30% of the Jewish population of the world, either 30 or 40, identify as Zionist. So Zionism is not an ideology that's only Jewish. You could be Zionist, Christian, and all that stuff. But in the courts, they can use that as well. Well, maybe they're just using this to protect against discrimination. But it's vice versa, because if you're not using the same definition correctly, and you're putting towards an organization that's not being anti-Semitic, and you want to cut their funding because you view them as being anti-Semitic, that's a court issue, definitely. And I hope you're able to sue the United States government and prove that their definition is incorrect. But either way, Trump, he says these things. He says a lot of things as if it's his ideas, but a lot of it is not. A lot of it's not. That type of policy was already being used in the United States long before Trump even thought about becoming president. They already had a type of policy. So moving on. I got a few more. We are almost there. Okay. Number 7. This is a wild one. I mean, all of them are wild. All of them are wild. All of them are wild. 90% of Consumer Financial Protection Bureau staff were cut in April. Remember, they was like, if you don't like it, get the hell out. It's crazy. It's crazy. Get the hell out. We don't want you here. Like, literally, they came in and they was just like Mean Girls. Like, instead of saying, oh, she doesn't go here, they were just like, you don't belong here. No. We got good genes. Like, they was on a Sydney Sweetie type of mindset. If you're not blonde and blue eye, you're not white and Christian, we don't want you working here with your DEI. We don't support DEI. There will be no DEI in this government. Nobody does well when they're just hired for diversity hire. Okay. And how much money you think, guys, Elon made? Let's go to the 8th slide. Elon got a bag, bro. He already rich as hell, but he definitely got a bag being a part of DOGE. Check that out. Musk companies have pocketed tens of billions of dollars in federal support while facing 30 federal probes. This man is about to get investigated. Guys, we don't live in a democracy, and I'm really tired of people thinking that you live in a democracy. You don't get to decide on what you want in the Constitution, like Cuba did, like Iran did. Liberals don't read on Iran properly, so they don't know that. You don't get to choose your Constitution. You don't get to choose who becomes president. It's whoever's the richest one and has the most money. That's how it goes. It's always been that way. You don't get to choose a functional government with your votes. You don't. And you don't get to choose when a rich person like Elon Musk gets to come in unelected and join some type of agency and then leave with tens of billions of dollars while pretending that what he did under DOGE benefited America. And all these slides that we're going through, that breakthrough news so amazingly touched. There's so much more to talk about. This is just this all these slides that Breakthrough News literally made on Instagram. Like this shit is just like a preview, bro. We could go for hours on Doge. We could go for hours. I have a union guy too. Oh, I got so much tea. So much fucking tea. Oh, but it's okay. We don't have time right now. That'll be for another show. Don't worry. We'll keep doing. Don't underestimate your enemy live streams. That's what these live streams will be called. Because I like to put a name to things instead of just doing stuff without a purpose. Even though this is a purpose, but having a name on something makes it more purposeful. So yeah, let's read the excerpt. As part of the recent Trump-Musk fallout, Trump has threatened to turn Doge on Musk. Oh God, yo, this is hilarious. Trump, you're on Epstein's list. Stop distracting. We all know that you're on Epstein's list. You helped your boy get tens of billions of dollars. You did that, Trump. You helped him get tens of billions of dollars, and now you're mad. Now you're mad, Trump. And now you want to go after the same guy you made richer. Isn't that a debacle? That makes no sense to me at all. Makes no sense. Try to do the Trump thing, whatever. The monster seeking revenge on Dr. Frankenstein. I like that. Musk businesses will also be affected by the Big Beautiful Bill's elimination. And this is why Musk was pissed about the Big Beautiful Bill. Elimination of clean energy tax credits and the introduction of new taxes on solar and wind companies. But Musk, you can't complain because this was your guy. This was your guy, Musk. Don't change now. When you spend more than $200 million just to steal an election, don't complain now, Musk. Come on. This is what you wanted. You're getting what you wanted, Playboy. That's all. Is that so hard? Come on. Come on, Musk. Why are you so mad, bro? This is what you wanted. You spent all that money. You might as well deal with it. All right, whatever. Trump's budget deepens the deficit, making the stated rationale for Doge and its cuts even more pointless. Meanwhile, military spending has set a new record of $1 trillion. $1 trillion we are now spending on military budget, guys. Aren't you excited? Isn't that good for us? Isn't that so? That's so good for us, guys. That is just so fucking good for us. We spent $1 trillion on military while we're cutting funding to hospitals. We're cutting off people off of food stamps. $17 million. 17 million people are now getting kicked off of Medicaid. Oh my God, that's so good for us. We don't give a shit about none of you poors. We don't want to help y'all out. We just want y'all to be workhorses. And if you don't want to be workhorses, then die. But if you're fit, you could join the military. You could join the military and die for corporate America while we try to displace every other country that we don't like and support Gaza's genocide in the Congo, in Sudan, in Peru. The list goes on. The list goes on. $1 trillion in the military budget. You know how much China spends on military budget? Like half. Like half. North Korea's military budget is the same as the New York City's police department budget. Did you know that? Russia's military budget is nowhere near $1 trillion. Nowhere. Not even close, baby boy. Not even close. Why are we spending $1 trillion on military? But we can't. Let me just remind you. The only country, the only first world, I hate that term, that's so colonial, but I might have to use it. The only first world country to not have single payer healthcare. The only first world country to have everybody in debt on healthcare, on healthcare too, but also on school. I mean, I'm in like 10 grand in debt. I got a friend that's in $100,000 debt. Got other friends in $200,000 debt. List goes on. You know what I mean? It's not like Denmark where they pay their students to go to school. They give you an incentive to go to school. Not like Norway where they give you an incentive to go to school. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, school's free. No, not like that. I don't know how long they're gonna be able to do that because the EU wants them to pay more and more for war as well too, following the United States role in wanting to amp up the war against Russia, amp up the war against China and everything. So they're probably not going to be able to have single pay healthcare real soon or have free schooling as well too. They're definitely going to be on the list if they keep just allowing America to dictate their foreign policy. I mean, at the end of the day, their foreign policy, NATO's foreign policy, EU's foreign policy, all of Europe's foreign policy besides the Eastern Bloc is destroy Russia and give America whatever they want. Give like what happened with the freaking terms bill. Okay, yes. Japan said, I don't know about all that. Okay, I give them that. Japan's not in Europe though. There was another European country that actually said, I don't know about all that too, but I can't even think of the name right now. Let's move on, guys. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. Yeah, $1 trillion. And we got so much homeless people. You know what I mean? You know, Bikini Faso, like, everybody's getting housing now. Isn't that amazing? We got more empty homes than homeless people in this country. And for some reason, we just can't seem to figure out how we can house those people and, you know, invest in building housing, or no, not build, just repair the empty homes that you have. You got the money. You can spend $1 trillion for 900 bases around the world. There should not be any homelessness. That's not a radical statement. That's fucking common sense. If you can spend $1 trillion on military, there's no reason for there to be homelessness in this country. And anybody that disagrees with me, DM me and tell me your argument of why you think what you think, because I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. All right. Billions in delay funding hurt multiple public services. Is it look. $1 trillion in the military budget, but billions in delay funding to hurt multiple public services. Isn't that amazing? Fuck y'all. You poors don't need shit. What we need to do is make sure we got the bombs, baby. That's what we need to be worried about. Bombing people. That includes nearly $1 billion to delay funding to Head Start, which forced many programs to shut down or scale back. Wow. Trump also withheld $7 billion to public schools. Wow. Public schools are fucked enough, and you just take $7 billion away from them. A move that ultimately failed after illegal pushback, and signed a bill to make $9.3 billion in DOGE cuts permanent, targeting PBS, NPR, foreign food aid. Remember when NPR said that they weren't government funded? I just got reminded by that. You freaking liars. Pushing all that damn CIA propaganda. We're not government funded. We're publicly funded. Hey guys, another thing in the nonprofit sector, what you learn that even if you are funded by 1% by the government, you are considered a government funded organization. So that's a little bit of knowledge as well too for you to know. Even if it's 3%, you know what I'm saying? So if you receive any type of funding, because I worked for a nonprofit that did not receive any government funding. We just went off of grants from other organizations that was giving out grants. That's how we got our funding. So you know, I mean, we can never say that we're government funding, but NPR is government funding, and the cat's out the bag right here with this post. So they can never deny that they're not government funded. Yeah, all these organizations, you know what I mean? Like, I feel bad if they're losing money and stuff like that because of what's going on with Trump, but they're still problematic too, pushing that CIA nonsense. Got everybody in the public looking crazy. All right, last slide. And again, from Breakthrough News, please go like, share, follow them. Shouts out to Rhonda Cowlett. She puts in work. Unions are leading the charge against DOGE, and this is good. This is a good slide right here. As a union guy, I'm so happy, and I wish my union was a part of this fight. Hopefully, one day they also will be. Public sector unions have led the charge against DOGE, continuing a multi-front legal battle. Let's go, baby! Challenging Trump's ability to eliminate agencies created by Congress. On May 30th, the Ninth Circuit. Sorry, my cat is doing some stuff. I don't know if y'all can hear it because my mic is so good. I apologize about that, but it was distracting me. On May 30th, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals kept in place a block on Trump's executive order to execute even more mass firing. See, the courts had to get involved because this man was just on a firing tear. Like, he was like Thanos, basically, just trying to snap people's livelihoods away and shit, and don't even give a fuck. Like, sometimes I wonder about these rich people. It's like, do you realize that you're not making any fucking friends when you just screwing people over like this? And you should be surprised. This is why you need security. And I'm not trying to say anything. Okay, look, I don't have to say nothing. There's a man named Luigi that already proves my point. Like, you doing all this shit to poor people, the people that need help, and then you get mad if somebody takes a attack on your life. You get mad if somebody threatens or moves to try to end your life. Like, come on, you can't just be a douchebag and not get douchebag consequences. Like, that just makes no sense. When I was in high school and somebody was talking junk about me and they just started talking junk to my face, this is why I had to go to anger management in high school. If I'm getting bullied, I'ma smack you. That's what I did in high school. That was the consequence of the bully to come to me. The bully went to somebody else and they didn't get smacked. But when the bully came up to me, the bully got smacked. And if I lost the fight, I lost the fight. If I won the fight, I won the fight. I lost more fights than I won. But I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. You cannot treat people this way and expect to not have any repercussions of a threat on your life. Luigi not the only one, bro. Look at the news. They're covering it up. Look at the news. Look at the news. So I'm just saying, dude, like, it's just astonishing how it took the courts to stop this man from firing more people. More people. Like, all right, when we look at numbers of people being fired, remember, each of those numbers are somebody. Like, somebody that has a house, somebody has kids, somebody that's like you and I, workers. Those are somebody. And it's just ridiculous. Also, I'm gonna just reread it one more time. On May 30th, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals kept in place a block on Trump's executive order to execute even more mass firings. This man is unhinged. However, recent Supreme Court rulings have given DOGE the green light to continue its work gutting federal agencies. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful, guys? But they want you to know, after everything that I just shared with you, they want you to know. Oh, let me get rid of my logo so you can see the whole quote. It's from Thomas Sankara, one of the, if not the greatest, black leader in Africa, who was killed, assassinated by the French. One of his boys, fuck that guy, was a part of his assassination. This is why you got to be careful who you around. One of the greatest socialist leaders of all time. The enemy of a people is the one who divides them and causes them to fight each other. This quote, I wanted to end my domestic segment because I got one more segment I'm gonna get into, but this is where I wanted to end my domestic policy segment on. They want you divided. They want you out here blaming the immigrants while they're firing you. They want you out here blaming black people, blaming Native Americans, blaming us, the DEI. White women are in DEI as well too, even though they don't want to acknowledge that. They want you out here blaming others so they could get as much budget cuts. And we just went through the money just now. I mean, if you ain't saw me go through the money, rewind. We just went through the money now. This is why they want you out here, buddy, hating everybody else. Because while you're out here blaming others, Elon Musk just got tens of billions of dollars. And he may get in trouble for it only because he started beefing with the man that got him the tens and billions of dollars. May get in trouble. It's a quick may. Rich people are above the law. I'm going to tell you that right now. When a rich person finally goes to prison and shit over some shit they did, that's a miracle. That's a miracle. But does it happen often? No. It does not happen often. Now, if I went outside and I committed a crime, you won't see my black ass hair on YouTube no more. I'm just going to let you know that. This coffee is so good. Gotta love it. I hate coffee, and now I'm back on it. And I love my tea, though. Tea's my first love. Let's get into the last segment of the day, guys. And tomorrow, by the way, stay tuned, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, buddy. We're going to have my boy Fad Saeed on, my Yemen brother from my mother. We're going to talk about a lot of things. And this is one of the things we're going to be talking about. I want to get my 2 cents in on this. Just saying Netanyahu has reportedly decided to fully occupy Gaza. Again, Israel is back to fully occupying Gaza after, I don't know, there is no Gaza left at this point, guys. So there's really, I mean, people say that it's, a parking lot at this point. But it's not a parking lot yet because you got to remove all the rubble in the Palestinians. And then it will be a parking lot. After you get rid of all the Palestinians, get rid of all the rubble, which is what they're trying to do right now with this whole like humanitarian aid and stuff. Yo, the British dude cracked me up, bro. Can't even think of the British dude name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. He, like in the military and stuff like that. These Anglo-Saxons are hilarious. Man went on camera. And I'm laughing. You see, I laugh at stupid shit, but I'm still pissed off. So it doesn't mean that I'm laughing at how egregious this is on a comical way. This is my mechanism on coping with this traumatic shit. This man went on camera and said there is no one being murdered, blah, blah, blah. We are here to give humanitarian aid. It's Hamas that's doing all this shit, blah, blah, blah. Talking points, the same Zionist talking points that all these Zionists like to say to cover up what's going on. And, when you ask them, okay, let's just humor. I don't even want to humor it. Let's humor that you guys are, in Gaza for a purpose. What's going on in the West Bank? 22 illegal settlements that even the UN said was illegal as well, against international law. International law doesn't matter, by the way, when it comes to these policies. When it comes to wars and stuff like that conducted and funded by the West, they are above international law. International law only matters if you're black or Asian. And you are a leader of a country. that's when the Hague will come and get your ass. This man, just like Hamas, has warrants out for his arrest. But those Hamas people that have warrants out for their arrest, they're dead. He's not. He's not going to get in trouble. Why? Because he's white. And I don't give a fuck if you disagree with that. Find me a white leader, a white foreign leader in the Hague that been prosecuted. I'll wait. The people that's watching, can you think of a white foreign leader that has been prosecuted by the ICJ, convicted, and sent to prison? Name me one white, one Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountains descent. Find me one white leader that has been prosecuted and convicted in the ICJ courts in The Hague. I can name mad black leaders and an Asian brother right now from the Philippines that's in those courts being prosecuted and convicted. But can you find a white one? You're not. This man is a Hitler. He's a war criminal. Just like all his war criminal friends here in America that's giving him money to keep doing what he's doing. All of them. Biden, the first, when the genocide started, all the presidents are complicit in a lot of ways and shapes and form with Israel. But Biden literally let a genocide happen and lied to y'all that he was working on a ceasefire. Harris did too. She didn't win. Why? Because we knew she was full of shit. The polls showed that it was because of the genocide in Gaza is the reason why Democrats lost. And look, I understand, but Trump is worse. That's the fuck he is. That's the fuck he is. He's bad. Bad news bears. But he's not like the worst of the worst. Reagan was bad. Bush Sr. was bad. All the Republican predecessors, just like the Democrats' predecessors, were also problematic in war criminals. All bipartisan war, continuing war, 24/7. Millions of people. That's what it's stacked up to be. Millions. I mean, look at the Middle East. We was in there for 20 years, right? I mean, about to be back there now. The way shit going right now. But look what we did in the Middle East. 20 years. Afghanistan, Iraq. Killed over 1 million people. Look what we did in Vietnam. Killed over 1 million people. In fact, in Korea, when it was Korea, and then it got split, they called that the biggest burial site in the country, in the world over a war. 2 million people of progressives, communists were murdered under the what's it called? The national security. I believe it was called the national security policy. I got to get back to that, guys. Under Sigmund Reed, who was the U.S. funded dictator in South Korea, he murdered 2 million people, U.S. funded. The South Koreans don't talk about this history, but they know those are their family members. 2 million people, the biggest mass grave, bro, biggest mass grave in history. 2 million people in the mass grave. That was U.S. funded. Our country is a war-loving machine. This is why we spend trillions of dollars on war. This is why the biggest budget, the biggest military budget that we just showed, it's $1 trillion. But then you saw they took billions off of public services. Insane. They're literally saying, die. Die for the American dream. Die. Or you could become military. Or you go to prison and become a slave as a prison worker, get paid 25 cents. Other than that, die. We don't care. I'm being blunt here. I'm sorry, but this is how it is. You don't kick 17 million people off of Medicaid and then pretend that you still care about the country. You don't do that if you cared about the country. If we can spend $1 trillion on the military budget and give Israel $5 billion a year, and we give them more than that, But consistently, we have been giving them over $5 billion a year. We give Ukraine all this money. We give Egypt. Egypt's the second biggest funded by us with their dictator Sisi. Jordan. Yeah, there's a lot of money to go around, but not for you. You got to pay them grocery bills. You better pay them damn grocery bills. You better not complain neither. You better pay for that damn electricity. I don't care how high it is. You better not complain neither. Oh, you better pay your medical bills. I don't care how high the medical bills is. But you better not complain neither, because if you complain, we don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Complain all you want. We need to overthrow this damn government for the workers. The working class need to seize the means of production. At this point, please look. They got you talking about China and Russia while they letting this man Netanyahu massacre by the thousands Palestinians. And then he goes on the damn news and goes, "Oh, there are no starving children in Gaza." Nigga, you telling me that? See, I was trying so hard. I was doing really good, bro. Look, it's been hour 23, hour 28 minutes. I was doing really good without saying the N-word. This said the N-word. But like, for real, bro, you got me out here trying to believe you saying that no one is starving in Gaza when I'm seeing photos, videos, journalists, Palestinian journalists being blown to smithereens. You're banning international journalists from even being in there, and the only way they could be in there, they have to be escorted and coddled by the Israeli regime. The Israeli regime has to show them what the Israeli regime wants them to see and make sure they report on that. There's no independent reporting allowed at all for international journalists. And if you do some independent reporting as a journalist there, you will get murdered, just like the Palestinian journalists are being murdered right now. So this is what we're funding. What saying it with our chests, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, Colombia had to pay $300 million to the Trump administration, apparently, for anti-Semitism. Harvard's looking at $500 million. Isn't that crazy? They're being extorted. And I don't know why they're not fighting so hard. These are big, prestigious schools that have great law schools. Why are they fighting so hard against this? I don't know why. Why are they allowing this to happen? I don't know. But that's another subject. But we're literally in a time where anybody complaining about what anything another country is doing doesn't matter, because your country is promoting this shit with no problem. They don't care. And they will ruin your life for you caring. So you better play ball, baby, or you come to the dark side. We have cookies. This is more like the light side, but there's no money here. We are broke. Look at my cat. But my cat still lives amazing because I love my little girl. Right, Cleo? Where she go? She gone. I love my little girl, Cleo, and my cat, Benjamin. He's around here somewhere. And we got a turtle, too. We're a little family here. Cute little turtle named Shelly. She makes a lot of noise, but you know, it is what it is. That's what turtles do. She likes to swim and play with her stuff because she's happy, even though we're broke. We're broke as shit. This is just very depressing. For final thoughts, it's sad that we're literally watching this in 4K, 6K, 8K, whichever, and we can't do anything about it because the people that are in charge, the people that run the country, are the ones that, without no consideration of the feelings of their own workers and their own citizens, are funding this genocide. It's not just, it's all AIPAC. I want to dispel the notion that Israel controls America. That is a stupid lie. It is anti-Semitic. And it's not true. Israel does not control America. You know what Israel's place is in the Middle East? To be the largest military base. I'm not the only one that has said this. A lot of people that know more things more than I do have said this. Abby Martin has said this. I believe Chomsky has said it as well. To a lot of people that have been around and been in these places have said this. Israel is a military base. And this is probably where YouTube's going to be like, cut the feet. It's a military base, bro. Y'all are all human shields. You Israeli citizens, you Israeli settlers. Y'all not citizens, y'all settlers. I just want you to know that. You don't think you've been human shields for so long. I don't know why. You are always in some crazy ass aggressive war that you started. Who started the shit with Iran while everybody was saying Iran was a threat? You did. You got Iran crazy. And they had to send hypersonic missiles at your ass for 12 days straight. Yes, you did hit some really good targets in Tehran as well, too. That was suspected. Your F-35s and everything, that was suspected. But you was not expecting to be in that bunker for 12 days. You was not. I heard your boy, Ben Gavir, while he was getting yelled at by some Zionists on the street. He literally said in Hebrew, "We did not know Iran's missile capabilities." This is racist. This is the problem with colonialists. This is the problem with colonialists as a whole. They did the same thing here in the United States, where the founding fathers were just so shocked. They were just so shocked whenever the Native Americans struck back with a very effective strike. Hell, the Sentinels over in Florida, they call them unconquered now because they still got their lands. Why? Because they fought back effectively. White people, and I'm gonna just be blunt, white colonialists feel that they are indestructible. I mean, look how Israel acts. They like, oh, we're untouchable. No one can stop us. We're the strongest ever. We're the only democracy in the Middle East. When there's like 26 other countries. Oh, so y'all looked at all these countries' policies that actually have democratic voting and everything, and you're trying to say you're the only democracy? All right. The Middle East is not only Iran, which we could talk about actually what their system is. The Middle East is not only Iraq. There's only 5 countries y'all talk shit about on a daily basis in the Middle East. And you're trying to tell me out of the 26 countries, I believe it's 26, I hope I'm right, that y'all are the only democracy. Like, there's literally Middle Eastern countries that do have LGBTQ rights and everything. But no. We don't talk about them. We don't bring them up. They're not real. They don't exist. Israel's the only democracy in the Middle East. Whatever. I should do an episode on that, actually. That's a good idea. I'll put that in the notes on, like, other Middle Eastern countries, systems, and the LGBTQ rights that they actually do have. You know, it's just so racist how people in the Middle East are thought of being by Westerners. Like, it's just insane how racist people think people in the Middle East really are. It's just so racist how y'all think that way, but it's okay. It's okay. Because a lot of people that, you know, don't just go by Western perspectives, you know what I mean, actually do research, you find out that Westerners are mostly wrong about a lot of things. Like, and it's not your fault. It's not our fault, really, because we've been told this shit. It's in publications. The government pushes this Islamophobic nonsense. Like, even with the whole Palestinians just all being Muslims, that's racist as shit. They're not. There's Jewish Palestinians, there's Christian Palestinians. Yes, there's majority of Muslim Palestinians. Yes, that's true in that region. Yes, but there's also churches there. I mean, Israel bombed the Catholic Church in Gaza, and he had to call the Pope, Bibi, to apologize. There's Christians there. There's Jewish Palestinians there. There's Jewish people in Iran, and they try to say everybody there is Muslim. Iran has a very large Jewish population. If not, I think Iran has the largest Jewish population in the Middle East besides Israel. I gotta recheck that. It's a very large population. Jewish people in Syria. Jewish people everywhere in the Middle East. Israel's not special. They were created by the UN because the Europeans felt bad about what happened to them after they was whooping their ass for centuries. And now the Zionists feel that they can make Palestinians suffer for what the Europeans did to them. This is all what it is. They're calling them Nazis, which is insane that they're calling Palestinians Nazis. But that's whatever. I could go for a minute on this topic, and I don't want to. I oppose the occupation, the reoccupation of Gaza. I oppose it, just like I oppose the occupation of the West Bank, which they have said for the past 2 years that their only issue is Hamas, but yet you are attacking the West Bank and you are building illegal settlements in the West Bank. I don't know. Tomorrow we're going to have a guest. I like having these little one-on-ones with you guys. It's pretty cool just going through media headlines and just, giving the perspective. And you guys are always welcome to chime in on things as well too. The comment sections are always open. I like it when people have questions and stuff like that. We're going to try to get the TikTok feed back up as well too, because a lot of people chime in on TikTok, majority out of all the platforms I be on, and it'd be some actually really good some really good feedback, some really good comments that spark conversations that we can keep having. Of course, there's haters, especially the ones that are just like, what this ninja talking about? How you know anything about this? Ain't you from the hood? The racist, the ones that don't want to be called racist. That's why I do that. They're racist. Yeah, man. So I think it'll be great if I do like a live stream at least once a week. And of course, the name of the live stream. Let me push back real quick. Let me say what I was saying. I'm gonna try to make sure that everything, even with the people that I have on, the interviews covering music, politics, and culture on this platform, will be live streamed from now on. If it's not live streamed, there's going to be a reason why. Probably because I didn't have a chance to do a live stream, or maybe the guests didn't want to have a live stream and they want to get things taken out, whatever. It's cool with that, whatever conversation we want to have beforehand. But I want to keep things live because live is great and people tune in. People are looking. So I'm glad that you guys are supporting the show. I saw the increase on YouTube. I was so shocked. I was like, oh my God, people are actually paying attention to these clips. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep doing what we're doing here. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're going to have the brother Fad Saeed come on. Maybe Dust James, who was also a union worker. You saw him on the last Unsavory Politic episode. Well, actually, no, this Unsavory Politic. Wait, how many episodes is out right now? I can't even think. Well, it's the episode that has somebody was calling me. It was the episode that has Alex Suarez's last show on it. That's where Dust James is on. And also they had Eclectic Radical, my boy Chris Richards will also be back on the show as well too. We're gonna bring Tommy Nation back on the show as well too. Tomorrow is going to be Fad Saeed. And for everybody out there, please thank you so much for watching. This was a very long live stream, and it was only because of technical difficulties. I apologize about technical difficulties. Make sure I get those out of here so people enjoy the stream more. And yeah, please have a really good day and be safe out there. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And cue the end music. Have a good
blank period, yeah. On my black, brown, and indigenous. Gotta holler if you really feeling this. Gotta holler if you really real enough. Other rappers is delirious. Yeah, it's really that serious. Better holler if you really feeling me. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah. We gonna live in abundance. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah. We gonna. I gotta keep it 100. We gotta stop all the stunting. You know we coming from nothing. Yo, you talking about money, you bluffing. We gotta do something different. We gotta change how we live in. We gotta do better for women. We gotta listen to victims, whether Jewish or Muslim or Christian. It doesn't matter your religion. You gotta stand against the system, or else you just another villain. How you just sitting there chilling?